Hollywood does a little bit better, but not by much. With this week's picks, I had no expectations whatsoever. It's the year of the trailer, the year of the flat. I have seen too many trailers, most of them, as a matter of fact, that have gotten my hopes up. I thought, man, this is going to be an awesome movie. I watch it, and I'm severely disappointed. So I didn't want to expect anything out of these movies, even though I wanted to watch them. And I think that's the key. I was pleasantly surprised because I thought they were going to be so bad. Hollywood, I think, finally is starting to turn it around just a little, just a little. They have a long way to go, but this is looking promising. We'll start with The Bride. Out of the three movies that I picked to review this week, I have to say The Bride, by far, my most unenthusiastic feeling to go and watch a movie. I didn't want to watch this movie at all. I wouldn't have watched the movie. I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't have wasted my time if I didn't have this channel and I wasn't watching trash, so you didn't have to. So on that note, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up, help with the activity, get me noticed by the algorithm and get me pushed out there. It really does a lot for the channel and I'd appreciate it. But I digress. The Bride is the bane of my existence. This is now the 119th time that I've done a take on this section of the video alone, because the diatribe, what I have to say about this movie, I can't cut it down less than 12 minutes. So let's just see if I can cut it down even more. I'm going to spoil it a little bit, not a whole lot. It's just the basic storyline. At the very beginning, you get the narration, you get the monologue from Jessie Buckley, who will get to the saving grace and a wonderful, wonderful actor. But Jessie Buckley as Mary Shelley, setting up the storyline. I must have fallen asleep because I didn't catch everything that she said. I didn't know what was going on with this movie through the duration. I had to ask, and then I had to piece together. And by the end, I'm like, oh, well, that was stupid. Regardless, Mary Shelley is dead. She died of brain cancer, and she didn't get to tell the story that she wanted to tell before she died. Yeah, it talks about her death, but it also alludes to the fact that in that day and age, with that culture and that atmosphere and that area, she would have been silent. She wouldn't have been allowed to get a book like that out with the female protagonist, with the character that she was telling in that story. She would have been silent, shut up. She couldn't tell it. Okay, you want to come at it from that lens, fine. I'm here for it. Let's go. She died before she could tell the story. So in order to tell the story, because she's in purgatory, her character has to possess a girl that becomes the bride so she could tell the story about the character that didn't exist because she couldn't tell the story and she had to die in order to tell the story for the character to exist. No, it was confusing. That's not the way that you start. Maggie Gyllenhaal, yes, I appreciate some of the work you're in. Complete and utter failure. Hang your head in shame. Another thing that I didn't like about this is it's a Frankenstein movie. And I know that everyone wants to make Frankenstein or the dark universe or the core foundation of Hollywood. They want to retell it and make it their own. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. It was perfect before. Don't retell an old story and destroy it. Come up with original stuff. Plagiarists. Hollywood is a bunch of plagiarists. No original idea whatsoever. That's why this is the year of the flat. But I digress. Now you see why this is 12 minutes long. The character of Frankenstein, and I know I'm going to have some people say, it's not a Frankenstein movie, it's a Bride of Frankenstein. Stop. Just stop. It's a Frankenstein movie. The Bride of Frankenstein wouldn't exist without Frankenstein. Frankenstein is a supporting actor. We just had a Frankenstein movie a few months ago that still shouldn't have never been told by Guillermo del Toro. Did a better job than what Maggie Gyllenhaal. But yes, it's the Bride of Frankenstein. Okay, we haven't had a good bride telling, even though she couldn't tell the story without Frankenstein. But she ruined Frankenstein. She destroyed it, murdered 100%. Frankenstein, for me and many, many others, the draw and the allure of Frankenstein is Frankenstein's monster is looked at as a monster by society when he's actually the good person, maybe with anger issues, a little bit of self-control problem. It's humanity, it's society, civilization that are the monsters because they attack anything that's not like them. They only see, they don't see the inside that's innocent, sweet, pure, tells the truth, drives truth, justice, and in a loving way. So society wants to destroy it. Okay, that's the story. That's the original story. She betrayed this original story. Christian Bale did a wonderful job portraying what she wrote. And the job wasn't the performance by Christian Bale. That's not the problem. The problem was the way that she wrote the character, because she not only directed it, she wrote it. And she destroyed it. She mangled it. There's been a lot of Frankenstein movies that have been terrible. Congratulations, Maggie Gyllenhaal. You are the first one out of 1,000 that has completely murdered one of the best stories Hollywood has ever come up with. She made this character, Frankenstein, not a bastion of humanity and care and concern and love, but made him more human than the humans actually were, to where he was willing to betray and murder and lie and cheat and flee justice in his pursuit of love that he so desperately wants, and out of the longingness to not be alone. He destroys who he is as a person and creates another person that he thinks this character will fall in love with. That is the most human characteristic, emotion, attribute, and action that I can think of. So instead of him being set apart and being a good character and actually something to aspire to, he's just become another despicable cog in civilization. Thanks, Maggie Gyllenhaal. Now, yeah, the storyline just about goes like that. There's a Bonnie and Clyde-esque chase scene or run scene or travel scene, whatever you want to call it, that didn't need to be said, didn't need to be included whatsoever. Just stupid. Didn't benefit the storyline whatsoever. There's also a side character, little bit part. Ronnie Reed, played by her brother, which I have to say, even though he's acclaimed and he's had some good roles, one of the most unfavored actors I have ever come across. And I've seen a whole lot of movies with a whole lot of actors. He is just a one-trick pony. Whether he's a cop, whether he's a soldier, whether he's anything, he's the same character over and over and over again. And he's very monotone. I don't care if he's playing Mysterio in Spider-Man. I don't care if he's in Kandahar with the Covenant. I don't care if he's a detective trying to uncover a serial killer. It's the same exact character over and over. There have only been 2 characters that he has ever played that has been different than Southpaw or anything. And that's Dalton on Roadhouse, which is my guilty pleasure, because even though that movie had bad reviews, I liked the movie. I think he did a really good job. And he actually kind of went out of his comfort zone and he played a character that he doesn't play in every single movie. And I enjoyed that, so I know he can act. He also had Bubble Boy in his very early career. Me watching him play Ronnie Reed, that didn't even need to be an act, that didn't need to be a character in this story. He offered nothing. It was absolutely, it wasn't beneficial to the storyline. It just created a side story that never went anywhere, kind of flew off into the abyss, just jumbled everything up and made you wonder why. But when I watched his portrayal of Ronnie Reed, Bubble Boy, it was Bubble Boy playing a 1930s Hollywood star that tap danced and sang. It was Bubble Boy. That's it. So completely turned me off. Now, the only 2 good things about this movie, and I'll say it real quick because I'm hitting the long mark and I'm going to have to try for 120 and I don't want to. The way this movie looked, the only reason you should see it in the theaters is because of the way the movie looked. I've seen so many period pieces of 1930s Chicago in the Midwest and stuff like that. And it didn't sound like it. And it didn't really look like it. And it just didn't feel like you were in it. This movie successfully immersed you to where you felt like you were walking in the streets of Chicago. You were going into nightclubs in 1936. You were traveling cross country out in the boondocks. You felt like it. So that was a very good boon for this movie. It's a saving grace. And if you want to go and see it in the theaters specifically for that. The only thing that makes this movie good is the role and the portrayal and the performance of Jessie Buckley. Now, this young woman came out of nowhere for me. I knew she was in Hamnet. I know she's been in some movies. She played with Maggie Gyllenhaal before in a movie that the name eludes me. Never watched it. Don't care to watch it. But she just struck me. Everything that she did, everything that she said, the way that she said it, it had me riveted in this movie. If it was not her, if she didn't do such an Oscar-worthy performance, I would have gotten up, walked out, and demanded my money back for this movie. It was no good. But she played more or less a flapper girl. It kind of compromised morals and stuff like that from 1920s, 1930s. She spoke with that nasal accent that Midwest 20s, 30s did that you see in all other movies that's done well sometimes, done terrible other times. She did fantastic, especially knowing that she's from Ireland. Her American accent, flawless. And then that character is possessed by a middle-aged, very crude, very crass British woman from the 1800s who has completely different mannerisms, completely different actions, spoke in a completely different way. She 100% sold it. She hit a home run out of the park. The way that she could transition from one character to another character, and you honestly felt like they were the accents that she grew up having. They didn't feel forced. They didn't feel fake. They felt like she was completely at home speaking in that way, in that manner. She sold that she was a young party girl from 1936. She sold that she was a middle-aged British woman that's an author, that very rude and very crass. And she sold at the same time that she was that girl possessed by this woman and going back and forth to where she couldn't control it. And she would have signs of both of them. Wonderful. Oscar worthy. If she's not at least nominated, I strike, I ban, I'm done. I'm over. Because Hollywood will prove that they only give awards to their friends and not to people that truly deserve it. Either which way, if you want to see a movie like this, and if this somehow intrigues you, by all means, go and watch it. If you're going to watch it, see it in the theater, because if you don't, the small screen doesn't give justice to the one of only two redeeming things about this pile of trash. And now on to a movie that I actually wanted to watch because the trailer riveted me, because I really wanted to see it. I love the horror movie genre. It's my go-to, number one favorite. Now, this might not be the class of horror that I like. I really don't like the slasher. I'm just not fond of it. It's overdone. There's not a whole lot you can do with it. It's okay, this is a guy that runs around with a knife, but he's this. Okay, another guy runs around with a knife, but he's this. And now you can't really do much with it. So I don't really go to the slasher, but I always go to horror. If there's not something that I need to watch because of this channel, if it's not something that I really, really want to watch, my default is horror every time. So I was intrigued when I saw this, especially the way that the trailer made the movie look. When I saw the movie, I was not disappointed at all. Now, I can't spend a lot of time on this movie because The Bride took up all of my time. Once again, another reason why I don't like it. Thanks again, Maggie Gyllenhaal. But Dolly comes across in the same exact style of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You actually kind of felt like you were watching a different version, just about the same storyline of a crazed family off in the distance, and they get stumbled upon, and for no reason, they just do violence for violence sake. All right, it's not really the storyline. It's not, it's the way that the movie looked. Shot in Super 16 millimeter. If it was done any other way, this movie wouldn't have been as good. The acting, okay. Sean William Scott, the only one that's actually a big name actor, and he didn't do much. It was, even though he was a main character, he wasn't seen very much. There were reasons that he didn't have very many lines, and I'm not going to explain that, but he did a solid job. The acting was good, even by the no-name actors. It was okay. It's the way the movie looked and how they told the story and how it came across. There wasn't a ton of violence there, even though there was a lot of violence. There wasn't a ton of gore, even though there was a lot of gore, but you felt it. It made you cringe. When you saw it, you felt the violence of it. You were like, oh, no, that's terrible. And a couple of scenes looked really, really good. There were a couple of scenes that looked really bad, and you could see the CGI. And when you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But all around, I give this movie a solid B. I really do. Now, it's not something that you need to see in the theater. It's good. I mean, if you would go and see the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if you like midnight movies, if you like hillbilly horror, if you like exploitation, of the early mid 70s, if you like the grindhouse-esque drive-in theaters type movies, yeah, 100% go and see this at a theater. If you can see it at a drive-in, which they're disappearing, that is an added bonus. That would be a treat if it plays at a drive-in. Matter of fact, we have one drive-in in my area, and if this plays in it, I will definitely go and watch it because it gives an atmosphere, an ambiance of the pure days of being frightened, taking a date to see a scary movie in the car, watching it. It gives that feel. If you're wanting to watch something like that and that feel, especially for Halloween, especially if you're having like a horror movie night, Shudder doing this hit it out of the park. I've seen a lot of Shudder movies, just not good. Just not good at all. You know that they're going to be B movies, and they are B movies. This is a B movie shot in the style and the genre where it really did justice for the style and the genre. It could be seamlessly, even 50 years later, you can watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can watch movies in the exploitation, hillbilly horror, grindhouse genre, and you can watch this one and it won't feel any different. It feels like it belongs. It does better than what Grindhouse, what Death Proof and Planet Terror, that didn't even really do the Grindhouse justice. This one 100% does. If you like feeling uncomfortable, if you like tension, if you like gross and gore and violence for no explanation and no reason, but it's just violence because that's what happens in life sometimes, you will definitely appreciate watching this movie. And now a movie that I am not as disappointed or angry about as I am The Bride, but I was very disappointed in, is War Machine from Netflix with Alan Ritchson. I wanted to watch this. I really love watching Alan Ritchson. I love his portrayal of Reacher. He has made Reacher his own. Tom Cruise, no longer Reacher. It's Alan Ritchson. He's coming up as a star. He's been around for quite a long time. Again, it kind of falls in the same category as Jake Gyllenhaal, but he sells this one. He leans into it and he owns it. He's either a knucklehead, really, really silly person like in Blue Mountain State, or he's Reacher, kind of awkward, socially, maybe a little bit autistic. He's just got social problems. He doesn't know the cues very well. One of the two. Those are really one of the only two characters that he can play, but he's very, very good at them. When it comes to action, very good at action. All around, the acting was good in this movie. The action, the scenes were fantastic in this movie. It kept me really enthralled. It wasn't really edge of my seat holding on. It wasn't that. It was just a good action movie. Just fell short. The acting was not really there on point, and I don't think it's the fault of the actors. I think it's the fault of Netflix. They took this movie in a direction where the trailer, I knew that it was going to go in that direction, but I was hoping that it was going to go in another direction because I really didn't want to see that crap. But they did it. They did it. They did it. And it ruined it. It just did. There was almost a forced feeling of sentiment and regret. And it almost like Netflix was grabbing you by the collar and say, hey, you need to feel this way. It just felt false. It felt forced. It felt like it really didn't need to be there. And even though one of the feelings and the sentiment, it was pretty much set up for the storyline, the base reason for the storyline, the base reason that the main actor acted the way he did and made the decisions that he did and stuff like it was okay. But it was revisited and it was done all throughout the movie based on what was done in the beginning. But then it was revisited for a same exact thing that happened in the past happens in the future, just with one of the same characters, one of the different characters. It's just that he does it right the second time, and he didn't do it right the first time, and he always regretted it and always will, and blah, 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 blah. As some lines felt very, very forced. The CGI was great. I mean, the action scenes were great. The antagonist looked really, really good. I just wish it would have been a different storyline and a different origin for the antagonist. I wish they did a little bit more than just a very shallow main actor. But all around, if you just want to watch an action movie where you can look down on your phone, look up, see action, look down on your phone, look up, see action. You don't have to follow the storyline. You're not going to get lost. Like, what happened here? Well, why is this happening? If you don't want to see that, you just want to mindlessly see shooting and explosions and gunfire, which, let's be honest, everybody needs to see that every once and again just to kind of make them feel like they're alive. But if you want to watch something like that, War Machine is a good movie to watch. You're not going to get any award performances. The movie itself isn't going to be nominated. It kind of felt like a movie like, we have all of this money. We have to put out new content. What should we do? Let's do this. Okay, fine. And get a script. Get it done in 24 hours. Give it to me and we'll shoot this pile of junk. That's kind of what it felt like. Like it was content to further their vast library. If you want to watch it, good. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. You're not going to miss much. It's just going to be another sci-fi action adventure movie with a solid but mediocre performance from everybody and good action sequences. That's really about it. And that's my review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, well, I can't really say as I blame you. Sorry for the diatribe in the beginning with The Bride. I really should have waited to review The Bride till the end. Maybe I can do a little bit of flipping around with it, but apparently not. I'll just put it in the very beginning. Either which way, if you enjoy content like this, please do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. It helps push me out with the algorithm. Helps the channel immensely, and I would appreciate it immensely. Just drop me a comment below if you like the content like this. If you have anything that you would like to see me review, any movie whatsoever, you can drop it down there as well. Or head over to my Discord, drop me a little DM, and I will put your suggestion in the queue for you. And until we see you next time, I hope you have a great day. The only really positive thing that I could say, about Maggie Gyllenhaal and The Bride is she gave me a reason to go back and watch Monster Squad.